Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we have quite a bit to talk about. Your boy Joe, I know it's been away for a little bit. Okay, I have people screaming at me. I have people saying, Joe, what is going on? You know, just been getting a lot of things going on over here. All right, working crazy, okay? But we back, okay? And we having a good time. We're enjoying ourselves. We're going to be talking Jets. A lot to discuss. A lot of hating on the Jets. I'm seeing from the mainstream media. We're going to be talking about that. Haason Reddick situation still not, cleared up here, all right? Camp is coming around. I believe it starts the rookies, I believe, report on the 18th. And I think the veterans start on the 23rd, so that's coming up, okay? That's right around that bend, and I'm wondering if he's going to show up there, okay? And if he doesn't, how long is this situation going on? We'll be talking about that. We also got some things to discuss about the roster, too. We're going to be talking about that as well. Call in 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Lines are open. We're taking calls from everybody. I'm so excited. I'm so hyped to be back talking to y'all. Salute to all the Savages. Let me get into the show. Okay, listen. I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. All right? And believe me, I heard a lot about how much people love the Long Beach Joe Show. Salutes to all of the Savages out there. Salutes to all of my overseas listeners as well that were like, Joe, get back in there and get it going. We want to hear about the Jets, bro. What are you doing? I had a lot to do, guys. All right? But we're back doing our thing here and enjoying ourselves. So, again, salutes to all of the overseas listeners that I have. I'm always stunned by how many overseas people listen to your boy. Everybody out there in Germany, Ireland, all the folks over there in the UK, Australia. I have people listen to me from all over the place, and they definitely talk to your boy left and right all over social media as well. For those of you that do not know, I have a Twitter as well. Okay, going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right, follow your boy. I'll follow you right back and go back and forth. I'm also on iTunes. The podcast is on iTunes. So going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast there, and leave me a 5-star rating and let me know. You leave me some feedback as well. And let me know how you folks feel about what I'm doing here, with the show. So I want to thank everybody that does that. It's truly appreciated. I'm also on YouTube as well, for those of you that do not know. We live stream the show on YouTube. I have a lot of people come up to me, talk to me on social media. Some people, recognize your boy when I be out and about town, and they say, hey, Joe, really enjoy the show. Knew that the podcast was popping, but didn't know, hey, you got a YouTube, man, and things are moving and shaking on there. And I say, yes, it is. Come on over to YouTube, okay? When you come on over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right, subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks be in the know. Also, give the videos and streams a thumbs up and share them across your social media with your friends and your family. But just know, okay, when you come on over here to the channel and you watch the live streams and you think that I got going on here, I call my chat the Savages, okay? You want to know why? Because they're savage. Yeah, man. Listen, they don't care, man. If they don't like your take, if they don't like what you got going, they don't like what you bring to the table, trust me, they will let you know, okay? They will let you know, all right? They let me know, all right? They don't like your take. They have a difference of opinion, all right? They have no issues letting it be known, hey, this is how I feel and this is what's up, all right? So salute to all the Savages in the chat. Continue to put your thoughts and questions in the chat as well. We will come to you in between calls and go back and forth. Salutes to everybody, man. Venom G's always good to see you in the building. All right, Jets fan 2405, salutes to you as well. Christopher Phillips, salutes. Todd, salutes to you as well. All the savages in the chat, salutes and respect to y'all. It's good to see you folks in the building. So now it's time to get into it because I want to discuss some things. Again, the call-in number is 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers, okay? Now, man, oh, man, the media continues to hate on the New York Jets. Okay? Now, listen, I've been a Jets fan my whole life, all right? My whole life. I've loved this team for a while, okay? And one thing that has always just left me questioning things is the media's seemingly hatred for the Jets and the media's want or need to constantly drum up negative feelings surrounding this football team, negative feelings surrounding this franchise. They always need to make sure that the Jets are the butt of the joke. They always need to find some type of way to trash the New York Jets. And I have a couple examples here today, all right? Sean King, for those of you that may not know or remember him, he was a former NFL quarterback, did a lot of really good things in the league, had a really solid career. And he now has a podcast, and he's got a partner on there. And they sat down and they were speaking about Aaron Rodgers missing minicamp, mandatory minicamp, as y'all know. He wasn't the only guy that missed mandatory minicamp. Haason Reddick as well was not there. We'll talk about that in a second. But Aaron Rodgers wasn't there. Now, keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers, his absence wasn't excused, but Robert Saleh, everybody in the staff as well, was notified that he would not be there. This is something that has been known for quite some time that he would miss this time. It wasn't an excused absence, but they knew, what he was doing and where he was and that he couldn't miss whatever event that he needed to go to, and we'll talk about that. But I want you folks to listen to how Sean King and his partner decided to attack this situation and some of the eyebrow-raising content, the eyebrow-raising statements as well that were made about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Here's the audio. Listen up, folks.
And lastly, you have the New York Jets who are convincing themselves they can win with Aaron Rodgers at this point, as he I guess he's blowing off mandatory practices to do drugs. An ayahuasca retreat, I suppose, is where Aaron went. But I don't know. How do you make sense of the Jets and that situation?
So, listen, Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the most – not probably. It's one of the most talented throwers in the football we've ever seen. Like, you can't argue with that on any level. Like, he's just brilliant when it comes to throwing the ball. In my opinion, he's become, though, one of the most selfish and self-centered quarterbacks of my generation. And here's what I mean by that, Tyler. Robert Saleh is obviously on the hot seat. Obviously. What more could you do to undermine the soft footing that he's already on than to miss the mandatory minicamp? And here's what I mean by that. That schedule has been out since the Jets finished their season last year. Like, guys got emailed that schedule, right after the last game. So it's not like he hasn't known when mandatory minicamp is. I can understand. I got something to do, OTAs, week 2. I'm going to have to miss 3 of the OTAs. I'll be there for the 4th day. I got to come, then I got to leave. But being so selfish that you can't reschedule that other thing to be at mandatory minicamp where there's going to be a lot of media because you're in New York. Now you're going to put your head coach, your organization in a difficult spot because now they got to answer questions about why you aren't here. You don't think Mike Williams needs those reps with you coming over from the Chargers? All of the stuff you like to do at the line of scrimmage from a signal standpoint. You don't think, these guys need those reps? It just was selfish of him because he's known when this date.
And there you have it. Sean King and his partner, speaking on Aaron Rodgers and the situation of him missing mandatory minicamp. Now, I listened to this and I said to myself, wow, right? look, it started off with his partner saying that, Aaron Rodgers missed it to go do ayahuasca or drugs or whatever it is. And it's like, come on, okay? That's a bit ridiculous, all right? Now, we know now that it's come out from sources, according to sources. Now, keep in mind, these sources can get a little shaky, especially with Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers has had to come out himself and correct the media, about things that have been said about him. He's had to come out and definitely correct them and dispel rumors or lies that have been told about him. We've seen him do that. Okay. Now, according to sources, the reason why Aaron Rodgers missed Jets mandatory minicamp was because he had a trip to Egypt. That's according to sources. Okay. Now we'll see if Aaron Rodgers ever comes out and certifies the situation himself or corrects the situation and says, no, this is what I was doing, or maybe he never will, and maybe it was just a private situation that he needed to take care of. Aaron Rodgers was also fined over $100,000 as well for missing mandatory minicamp, which, probably to him is nothing, but clearly whatever it was that he had to do, if he had to go to Egypt or whatever it is extremely important. I do find it funny, though, that there was a time when I believe Tom Brady missed Bucs training camp, and it was unspecified, and nobody really cared about it. I'm going to say this again. I believe there was a time where Tom Brady, Tommy B, okay, former Patriot, okay, some days in Bucs training camp, and nobody really said too much about it. Now, when you look at the situation here, okay, I continue to listen to this audio, and the partner also said the Jets will try to win with him. I guess the Jets are going to try to win with Aaron Rodgers. I guess they're believing that they can do that. And even that comment, right, kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm looking around and I'm going, you're telling me we're going to try to win with him like he's some scrub now. And that's something that I've picked up on ever since Aaron Rodgers became a Jet. That the second that he took that Packers jersey off and put a Jets jersey on, all of a sudden everybody questioned if he could still get it done at this league, or if he could still get it done at this level. All of a sudden, all the things that Aaron Rodgers had done in his career, right? All the greatness that we saw from Aaron Rodgers throughout however long he's been in the league. He's been in the league for a long time. He's been in the league as long as some of these guys, some of these rookies have been alive, right? All those things that he's done, all the great play, all of a sudden everything becomes in question because now he's a New York Jet. And I was like, wow, when I heard that comment from his partner, because I've been hearing things like that, little subtle jabs constantly from the mainstream media since he's put on that green jersey and selected the New York Jets. And I was stunned by that because, again, we have the third overall ranked defense. Anybody know that? This defense is phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers is surrounded with weapons. We've seen guys of his ilk, right? Your Tom Brady's, your Peyton Manning's, right? I have to keep going on with the names. Great quarterbacks that have been able to play very well in their later years. Very, very well, right? Hey, Tom Brady, who I just talked about, that missed time in Bucs training camp. He missed, I think it was like 10 or 11 days, and nobody said anything about it when he did it, okay? There was no problems. There was no problems when Tom Brady missed 10 or 11 days of Bucs training camp. Nobody cared, okay? But Aaron Rodgers misses 2 days or 3 days of mandatory minicamp, and everybody else in the mainstream media is having a fit about this. But we've seen Tom Brady play well into his later years, okay? So I see that as well. And then also when Sean King, okay, made the comment saying Aaron Rodgers was the most selfish and self-centered QB of his generation, that's what he turned into. That stunned me too. I'm like, wow, how could you say that? Yes, he missed mandatory minicamps. Am I in love with the idea of him not being in mandatory minicamps? Not really. If he was there, it would have been great. All right, cool. Like, that would have been good. But is the sky falling down because Aaron Rodgers wasn't at mandatory minicamps? No. You want to know why? Because he's been at everything else. The man has been at everything else since he became a New York Jet. Everything. The second that he put on that jersey, okay, keep in mind, he went on Pat McAfee publicly and told the Packers, hey, let's wrap this up, dog. Y'all taking y'all taking a little too long, okay? Listen, take the Jets' compensation because they're giving you fair compensation. Let's take that compensation so that I can move on, okay? I'm trying to go play for the New York Jets. So wrap this up, make the trade, take the compensation so I can go play for the Jets because that's where I want to go. By the way, that's the only place I want to go. So don't try to send me nowhere else. That's what he did on Pat McAfee. You can go watch that and look it up. And then the second that the trade became finalized and he was officially a New York Jet, that man was in the building immediately. Immediately. All the voluntary stuff, he's out there. He's throwing the guys, okay? Young players, old players, he's teaching everybody, okay? Not only is he teaching you, but he's sitting down and breaking down the offense immediately, running the practices, telling guys where to go, where to be, how to get there, breaking down the playbook to them, setting plays up, having them understand the verbiage at the line, what he's calling, where he's going. And if things were not going correctly, you know what he did? You're supposed to go here. You're supposed to go there. This is what I was saying. This is the call. All right, we didn't do it right that time. Everybody get back in place. We're doing it again. You think I'm lying? You can go back and listen to all the stuff from that time. Heck, C.J. Uzomah himself, veteran tight end, said, hey, I'm learning new things every day with Aaron Rodgers. This is something that he's done since he's gotten here. All the voluntary stuff. Took in young guys under his wing, showed an extreme amount of leadership, right? He's done every single thing that we would hope Aaron Rodgers would do the second that we got him in the building and became a New York Jet. He did not come in here and big time us at all. Heck, he even offered Malachi Corley to come to his home. Come live with me. Come learn the offense. Let's get close. He's done that with a bunch of guys. How is he self-centered? This is the same man. This is the same man, Aaron Rodgers, that gave the New York Jets back over $30 million during contract negotiations. He restructured his contract to give the Jets back $30 million so that they could continue to build the team around him. That's about as self-centered as you could get, right? That's about as self-centered as you can get. Come on. That is selfless. That's what that is. That is, listen, I want everything around me to be better. I want this team to be better. I want this franchise to be better. And he's been saying that as well since he got here too. Become the dragon. We need to prepare. We need to get ready to take the next step, get to the next level. We need to let other people know that the Jets are in the building. We are the team now that you should be looking out for, that you need to circle on your calendar. We need to put another Lombardi trophy in that case next to the one that we have. He's been talking about this. Chasing Super Bowls, chasing greatness, becoming great. He's been talking about that. And not only has he been talking about that, he's been showing it with the work. And giving that money back goes a long way as well. Helping the New York Jets continue to build around him. And what else blew my mind about Sean and his talk around Aaron Rodgers is when he said, oh, well, you know, Aaron Rodgers is going to miss time with Mike Williams. What about Mike Williams? Mike Williams, you don't think he could use the reps with Aaron Rodgers? You don't think he couldn't be out there with him and doing his thing and figuring out how Aaron Rodgers calls things and listening to Aaron Rodgers' verbiage? Hey, Sean, this thing on? You listening? This is what I talk about when I say that a lot of people that want to bash the Jets or talk about the Jets don't watch the Jets or don't know much about the Jets. Mike Williams was not going to be a mandatory minicamp. Mike Williams is still recovering from an ACL injury. He's still recovering from that. He's not going to be out on the field with Aaron Rodgers running routes. He's not going to do that. Mike Williams is not going to be fully ready to go or healthy until darn near the season. Some people are saying he may not be ready week one, that he might be ready maybe a week or two into the season. That's one of the concerns about Mike Williams as of now, is will he be ready to go week one? That's one of the biggest questions about him. The talent is there. We know that man can play, but we're just wondering at what point will he be ready to get on that field and be ready to go and be fully healthy and healed from that ACL injury. When will that happen? But he dang sure isn't going to be on the field running routes with Aaron Rodgers. If he was at mandatory minicamp, he wouldn't have been there. Not running routes on the field with him. It's like, come on, man. We've got to get it together. Look, he missed mandatory minicamp. It's a couple days. We don't have to make up some crazy stories acting like this guy is just destroying the New York Jets or blowing us off or he's extremely self-centered. This guy has done every single thing that he can do to put the New York Jets in the best situation. Showing an unbelievable amount of leadership since he's gotten here. I don't get it. Give me your thoughts about that in the comments. Another thing that really touched a nerve of mine. Salute all savages in the chat. We'll get to the questions in just a second. PFT power rankings. Boy, oh boy. PFT just continues to do their thing, man. Oh. When it comes to the New York Jets, you know what they're going to do, right? PFT does a power rankings, okay, pre-camp power rankings. And you won't guess where the New York Jets are placed in the PFT power rankings, okay? I'll give you a couple seconds. Yes, they ranked all 32 teams. I want you to guess where they ranked the New York Jets. I want you to guess, all right? Okay, time's up. The New York Jets are ranked 25th on the PFT power ranks pre-camp edition. 25th. When I saw this, I was stunned. Because when you look at the New York Jets, right, we have the third overall ranked defense last season. You could argue the Jets have the best defense in the league, right? I personally believe that. I'm sure others do as well. Some would call me a homer, but I know that there's other people around the league that look at the Jets defense with Sauce Garner and DJ Reed and Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson and CJ Mosley. I could keep going on with the names, right? And the lockdown job that they did on multiple teams last season, right, throughout the season, and say, wow, okay, the Jets have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the league. Then when you look at them, Aaron Rodgers is coming back fully healthy. This is not Zach Wilson's, Aaron Rodgers. And then when you look at the biggest question mark along the offensive side of the ball, outside of, the quarterback situation last season, which, again, Aaron Rodgers is coming back fully healthy this year, so there's no question there. The biggest question mark was the offensive line. Well, the Jets have retooled the offensive line. Tyron Smith brought in at left tackle. You got Simpson brought in at guard. You got Tippmann at center, who showed immense talent last season. Not only at center, but at guard. You got AVT coming back, who we know he's a Pro Bowl, all-pro guard when he's fully healthy. He's coming back next season. He's going to be ready to go. Then you got Morgan Moses at right tackle. The Jets have shored up these issues along the offensive line. They shored them up. And not only that, they went and got Olu Fasanu in the draft as well as an insurance policy and a future starter at left tackle. And Olu can play at multiple spots if need be if one of those guys happens to go down. How are we ranked 25th? How is this happening? When you look at the rankings, okay, the Broncos are ranked ahead of the New York Jets. 848 will be coming to you in a second. Other callers as well, hold on. The Broncos, the Denver Broncos, are ranked ahead of the New York Jets in the power rankings. How is that? They have big questions at quarterback. Sit him. You got Zach Wilson over there. What? You got a Bo Nix who's a rookie. Like, these are just big questions. Then you look at things like, hey, they got the Vikings ahead of us. The Vikings have questions along their quarterback issues, right? Along their quarterback situation. Sam Darnold's not their future guy. Like, what's going on here? You got the Bears ranked ahead of the New York Jets. I love Caleb Williams. Everybody knows that. SC, fight on. But the Bears have a young rookie quarterback, and their offense has had question marks surrounding it for a minute. How do you believe that these teams are better than the New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers fully healthy? How is that possible? But again, the disrespect continues. It continues, man. We're going to be talking about this tonight because I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by this, and I don't get it. And I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know what the Jets have to do to put themselves in this where the media stops constantly bashing and taking shots at them any chance that they get. Also, we're going to be talking about the Haason Reddick situation. I know that some people are not as worried as me, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned, dog. I'm not going to lie to you. All right? I know that there's been a lot of things moving and shaking. You know, there was reports out there that the Jets contacted him during the trade situation, and basically, you know, he agreed to, hey, you know, I'll play on the last year of my deal, but there's other reports swirling as well, right? Depends on who you listen to. Other reports swirling as well, saying, hey, you know, they contacted him, and he made it clear that I want a new deal, okay? I'm trying to get paid, dog. I'm not playing. Don't play with me. I want money, okay? And that the Jets said, all right, we'll try to work some things out. We'll figure out and get you taken care of. It depends on who you listen to. But I know that there was issues with the Eagles as well, and that's why they were all right with moving on from him once they got Bryce Huff in the door. Now, recently, you know, we've seen Haason Reddick cosplaying as a samurai in Japan, walking down the street. He missed all the OTAs, was not at mandatory minicamp. We know we got training camp coming up. I'm wondering if he's going to show up to that. I'm truly wondering. I'm wondering if this holdout is going to play into the year. And I know some people don't believe, there are some that don't believe that he'll do it, but there have been players that have done that. Look at Chris Jones. Chris Jones, a phenomenal player, right? Phenomenal defensive lineman. Coming off of a great year, what did he do last season? He held out all the way into the season and missed week 1 because of it. And then him and the Chiefs were able to work some things out. I don't want to see that happen here with Haason Reddick. I don't want to see that happen here, especially with the expectations, Super Bowl or bust year. And I'm telling you, this guy, when you look at Haason Reddick, you can tell he feels like he has a lot of leverage, and he kind of does. There's no Bryce Huff. Outside of Jermaine Johnson, there's really no proven pass rusher. Will McDonald, I'm excited about him. We all are. But is he ready to have a double-digit sack season year 2 after some deactivations in some games, not playing as much as we all thought he should have last season? Is he ready to do that? Is he ready under that type of pressure to get it done in a Super Bowl or bust year? We know what Haason brings to the table. The numbers are there. We've seen him do it all with the lights as bright as they can get. He's done these things. He's seeing that he has leverage, and he knows that the pressure is high, and I believe that he'll utilize that. He already missed a workout bonus, $250K. I believe if he misses any of the camp, the training camp, the mandatory stuff, it's $50K a day, and that fine is non-waivable. He can't waive it. I can see him doing it, and I'm concerned about it. I want to have that discussion tonight. We're going to be talking about it. I'm hoping that Joe Douglas can figure some things out and get the situation situated, okay? Maybe he'll just have to adjust some things and give Haason more guaranteed money. Maybe that shores it up, or maybe Haason really does want that big deal. Man, I'm just wondering what happens because I'm telling you, if Haason does sit for some time, the expectations for Will McDonald are going to be through the roof. And Jermaine Johnson, we all love him. He's phenomenal. Pro Bowl guy. But the most sacks he's had is 7.5 in a year. He's got to have double digits and step the sack production up this next season, which I believe he's going to be phenomenal. But we need that 1-2 punch. We do, especially if we're going to be competing at a high level next season. You look at these teams across the league that are constantly going into playoffs, constantly pushing, constantly fighting. They have multiple guys that can get after you, multiple guys. And they don't play no games at all. So I'm hoping we get that shored up. We're going to be talking about that. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Okay? Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Please hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. All right? Also share the content across your social media with your friends and your family. I want to thank everybody that does that. I truly appreciate you. All right? Again, 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. Dano, we'll get to your question in just a second. We got callers. We're going to get to the callers, and then we're going to come back to the savages in the chat. Put your questions and thoughts in the chat. We will be coming to you, okay? First caller, we're going to go to Max. We're going to go to Max, and we're going to hear from him, man, because I know he's got some things to say. For those of you that do not know, Max He's a savage. Max, salutes. I want to thank you for calling into the show, man. Good to speak with you. Give me your thoughts on the situation, what you heard about from Sean King, man, speaking about Aaron Rodgers, calling him the most selfish quarterback of his generation.
I mean, I think it's bullshit. Like, saying Aaron Rodgers is like,
whoa. Watch your language. It's a family show. Okay, it's a family show. Watch your language, okay? Cool it down.
So I was saying that, like,
give me your
everyone's
thoughts.
like saying he's selfish, but I'm like, come on, he's not even that selfish. I mean, just because the media just hates the Jets. I mean, Chad Pennington said on the show, I don't know, 2000, like on a press conference, like, it's the media to be on the Jets media. It's like it's a privilege, and they said it's like their job, but no, it's a right and a privilege. So I feel like the media just hates the Jets, and they think, oh, Aaron Rodgers is selfish because he didn't show up to mandatory minicamp, which in fact he was in Egypt, and everyone's like, oh, it's a big deal. I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, I don't know why the media is like overreacting to it. I mean, I understand it's like mandatory minicamp, you can get fines and stuff, but I'm like, I'm an athlete in school. Does everyone like show up every practice? Like, no. So it was like, and like Aaron Rodgers showed up to the entirety of OTAs. I mean, he never did that as a Packers quarterback, so I don't know why everyone's overreacting.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I mean, look, I get it. There's people that just like to take shots at the Jets, and I understand that people wanted to see him in mandatory minicamps. But again, this is not the first time we've seen, players miss things. It's not the first time we've seen, like I just said a second ago, Tom Brady missed 10 or 11 days of Bucs training camp. And the reason was undisclosed, and nobody went haywire like they're going over Aaron Rodgers missing mandatory minicamps, which was like 2-3 days. Like, I don't get it, especially when the guy has been at every single thing else that there has needed to be with the Jets since he's gotten here. All the non-mandatory voluntary stuff, he's been there. The mandatory stuff, he's been there. Except for this is it. And it's mind-blowing. Now, as we continue to talk about Aaron Rodgers, Max, give me your thoughts, man. What are your expectations for him this upcoming season? Is there like a certain amount of number of yards or amount of touchdowns that you're looking to see him get to really give you a warm, fuzzy feeling about him returning from that Achilles injury?
I hope Aaron Rodgers just has to be a game manager. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be MVP, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it would be nice for Aaron Rodgers to be MVP. I mean, if he gets MVP and the Jets are really good, I mean, that's a good sign. We could be a Super Bowl winner. But, like, I'm just expecting Aaron Rodgers to be a game manager more than just a game manager because, look, he's 40 years old. I mean, quarterbacks, outside Tom Brady, like, no quarterback has been good when they're 40 years old. So as long as Aaron Rodgers just manages the game, like, we'll easily win games. Our defense is one of the top in the league. And our offense, we have Breece Hall. Breece Hall's a good running back. We have Braylon Allen, pretty good power runner. We have the second running back. We have Malachi Corley, really good slot receiver. We have Garrett Wilson. Our wide receiver core is that good. It'd be great if Aaron Rodgers wins MVP, because when he was on the Packers, Rodgers had no weapons. Like, everyone was saying, like, he had weapons. Devontae Adams is the only good wide receiver. Like, Alan Lazard was, like, overrated. He wasn't that good of a receiver. He was maybe, like, number 2. He tried to be number 1, but, like, he was terrible. So, of course, Randall Cobb, okay, he was good, 2014. And then everyone's like, Jordan Love, he was good on the Packers. But, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. I hope I expect to be a game manager because, and also the thing is, Zach Wilson was terrible last year. So, Zach Wilson was terrible. He couldn't play the screen pass.
Yeah.
So
he couldn't. I remember him throwing balls over folks' heads, like you said, the screen passes in the dirt. It was crazy. He couldn't complete balls in the flat. And like you said, and I concur with your idea as well, because I've talked about it. I don't need Aaron Rodgers to come out and throw, for 400 yards a game. I don't need that. I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that want that, crave that, and are expecting that. I'm not expecting it. Do I think that he can, give a 300-yard game, multiple? Yeah, he could do that. But I don't think that that's the best way. I don't think that's the way to put him in the best situation to win, to get these W's consistently. I think the New York Jets are going to get back to running the football effectively. I think that there's going to be a lot of RPOs, a lot of screen game stuff. That's why I think Malachi Corley is so important in this upcoming season. I think he's going to be utilized a lot of the ways that they utilized Aaron Jones when we saw them, with Green Bay. A lot of that stuff that we saw in Green Bay, a lot of that trickery, a lot of those screens, a lot of that is going to be utilized here to give a new wrinkle to the offense, especially, again, with us leaning on the run game more. When you look at the Jets' offensive line, the way that it's been built, right? Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, we got these guys in the building, Simpson, AVT coming back, Tippmann. We're going to be running the football effectively so that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to go too crazy, every single game. He's a smart guy. He's going to put us in great situations, right? We're always going to be in third and short, if that. We're going to be constantly moving the chains, and that's what I think is going to happen this upcoming season. Do I think Aaron Rodgers can still spin it, though, and chuck the ball down the field? Yeah. Go ahead and stack the box if you want to, like you did against Zach Wilson, and see what happens when Aaron Rodgers is under center. He's going to cook you. That's what's going to happen. Teams are not going to be able to defend us the same way that they did last season. Now, Max, this has been a great call from you. Before I let you go, man, okay, 845, I see you. Give me your thoughts about Haason Reddick. What are your thoughts about his situation? Are you concerned about him not showing up to training camp?
I mean, I would be a little concerned. I was talking on Matt O'Leary's podcast show a couple of weeks ago when it was OTAs. Like, all the Jets fans are overreacting. I was like, come on, like, why are you overreacting? It's like OTAs. It's completely optional. Then, like, now I'm starting to get a little bit more worried because, like, the contract, I mean, now it's training camp. Like, I mean, yes. I mean, I've been a sports athlete for years. I mean, yes, like, all these Jets fans are going to overreact. But, I mean, I would start to worry if it's, like, mid-July, August, like, and we're in preseason, like, he doesn't sign the contract. I'm, like, totally would be concerned. But, like, these people overreact. Like, I've done sports in high school. Like, I don't know. These fans just think, oh, it's like their life about football. Like, no, they have other stuff outside of football. It's called life. I mean, I understand, like, yes, Haason Reddick could be, like, one of the nastiest, but, like, the sports media in New York is just ruthless. Like, look at other teams. Like, Michael Parsons misses training camp, no report. So, of course, like, we're just ruthless because it's, like, the biggest sports media market in the world. And, like, oh, I'm just going to hold out. Like, but I'm like, come on, if it's August, I'll be totally worried about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it derails, then, like.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm a little concerned about it. I'm more concerned about it than a lot of Jets fans or even yourself as well. But I'm just worried, man, because if this continues to play out and he misses camp or misses, it goes into the season, man, it could get rough, especially, again, with this Super Bowl or bust mentality that a lot of Jets fans have. They're expecting big things this upcoming season, and he is a gigantic piece of that because we let Huff walk straight out the door, and he came in as the answer to that. So, listen, Max, it's been a great call from you. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good one, my friend. Now, man, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. But before we get there, we got to go to Dano, okay? Dano, I see you in the building. Salutes to him. Salutes to all the Savages. Dano says, Joe, thoughts on bringing in a guy like Michael Thomas as insurance for Mike Williams and Lazard? He's waiting to sign closer to camp and shouldn't command more than $5 million. You know what's crazy is that I've talked about that on this show in the past as the offseason continued to play out, as there were guys, still out there in free agency. And I believe there were people talking about Corey Davis and bringing him back. And I said, whoa, not so fast, okay? I'm not necessarily as interested in bringing back Corey Davis as other Jets fans are because he was often injured, didn't play. And then when he did play, we saw him dropping a lot of footballs, a lot of issues. And I brought up the name Michael Thomas. Here's a guy, he's had some injury issues in the past, right? The last years with the Saints. But he's a guy you can bring in as an insurance policy because he was relatively healthy throughout his entire career, unlike Corey Davis, who we saw was often injured, right? And I wouldn't mind that at all, If he can command, maybe $3, $4, $5 million, I don't think the Jets will have a problem with it. I think he's a guy that can come in, really give you a good, solid veteran presence. He's a solid set of hands. He's done really big things and played with great quarterbacks in his time as well, Drew Brees, as we know, and done big things in this league. So he understands where he needs to be, what he needs to do, how he needs to get there, and he's been at that mountaintop before. So I would have no problem bringing in Michael Thomas. I know that there are some other guys that people talk about, but Michael Thomas was definitely a guy that I spoke about as well on the show. So I'm open to it. And I'd be excited if the Jets can make it happen because, again, listen, I love Mike Williams and I love the acquisition, but I'm worried about that ACL. I'm worried about that ACL. And I feel like a lot of people are not talking about that as well. Listen, those 50-50 balls, that boy was getting up and jumping. How is he going to recover from that ACL? Can he still be able to do that? Like, nobody's talking about that. Listen, there's some players, okay? There's some players that come back from those injuries, and they're not the same. They're not. Sometimes it takes guys a year or maybe a year plus to get back to where they were before. He's coming fresh off of it. So what are you getting? What are you getting from him when he does get on the field? And then there's a question mark about when he's actually going to be able to get on the field. That's another question too. And if Mike Williams is not ready, let's say week 1 of the season, if he's not fully there and ready to go, are you prepared to lean on Allen Lazard? Allen, I can't run routes correctly, Lazard? I believe it was during OTAs. Aaron Rodgers, there was a report that Aaron Rodgers threw him a football. He was wide open and hit his hands and it dropped, and Aaron Rodgers took his helmet off and slammed it. Man, he was doing that all last year, and I was one of the first people to call him out for dropping footballs and running some of the laziest routes I'd ever seen last season. I think it was the Bills game, and I'm going to get to Justin. I'm coming to you next. 1 second. Sit tight. I think we were playing the Bills, and there was a ball that was thrown, and it wasn't able to connect with him. I think he should have got it, but it wasn't able to connect with him. And he ended up like jogging down the field and hugging a Bills player. Dude, I almost threw everything in my room. It was insane. Like, he was so sloppy last season. It was quite. I mean, look, he ended up getting benched. He ended up getting deactivated and benched by Sulla. I had never seen Robert Sulla so upset at a player. He literally got on the podium and said, that guy has 1.5 years left here. Whoa. Never seen him so mad. All right? Never seen him so mad. Salute to all the savages in the chat. 515-602-9639. Baked, I see you in the building. He says, you're the man. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Salutes to all of y'all. All right? Keep putting your thoughts, your questions, your comments in the please continue to put them in the chat, and I'll come to the savages in a second. All right? Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next! We're going to Justin. We got to get to Justin, all right? Because I know he's got some things to say. Justin, salutes. It's always good to see you. Thank you for calling in to Long Beach Joe Show. Give me your thoughts, man. We're talking tonight. I want to start with Haason Reddick, man. I'm a little concerned about the situation. You know, no OTAs, not at mandatory camp. I'm worried. Is he going to be at training camp? How long is this going to play out? What are your thoughts on it?
All right. I'm going to need you to do one thing before we start this. The oven's getting ready to preheat. I'm going to need you to take a deep breath in and out. 10 seconds. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the negative energy. Get rid of it. Breathe. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to need you to remove that H word you said out of your vocabulary, because when Haason Reddick gets his money, we are going to forget who Bryce Huff is. So just get rid of that name out of your vocabulary and breathe a little bit. Okay. We got time.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Got time.
When is that going to happen?
We have time. I mean, that's not my job to figure out. To take that question and forward it to Joe Douglas' email.
Don't you think that should have been figured out already, though? Like, I'm not negative at all. Not me.
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
but I do have questions. It's not as easy as we think. Green. The fact that Haason Reddick, hold on, Justin, we got him knowing that he was on the last year of his deal. We also knew that there were contract issues between him and the Eagles, and that's why the Eagles were okay with letting him go. We knew that. Sure. We knew. Okay, so if you know that and you bring him into this building, and again, depending on what stories you hear, but that man has made it clear. He made it clear with the Eagles, I want a new year. I want a new deal. Sure. I want to get paid. Yeah. I'm pretty sure coming in here, there was notifications, hey, I want a new deal. So you come in here, no OTAs. Okay, cool. That's voluntary stuff. Mandatory minicamps, you don't show up to that at all. This guy's brand new on this team. He's brand new. Him being out there is extremely important, especially in a Super Bowl of this year.
Yeah.
He needs to learn the defense.
Of course.
He needs to learn the players that he plays with, and he needs to learn how to move. You got to get that done. You got to get him signed and brought into the building. Give me a thought.
The guy wants money, but I mean, you can't blame the guy. It takes time. I mean, we're not even at training camp yet, and we're already freaking out about this. It's just mind-baffling. Yes, we can talk about it in a month if we get to the middle of these, joint practices and whatnot in the middle of the summer. For now, it's a non-issue. So take that negative energy and let's turn it into positive energy. This is the first time in years we had a loaded mandatory minicamp. I mean, I was at the mandatory minicamp. The guy didn't miss nothing. So I mean, the guy's working out.
Huh?
I mean, yeah, I know. It's more of an issue. The guy's wearing a samurai costume. I mean, it's not even an issue. The guy's working out every day. He's posting on Instagram. It's funny how that works, right? They just want to show him pictures working out in a samurai costume, but they don't show you the pictures on Instagram where the guy's working out every day. That's funny how it works. But you know what? It's all good. You just be ready when the time comes, and Joe Douglas got to figure that out. That's not my job to worry at this point. It's really nothing to worry about. I think it's just, how it is. The Jets, they need their clicks mentioned in the Jets, and that's it. But, I mean, this Reddick stuff is nothing to worry about, at least right now. I'm going to say it right now. At this point in time, it's a non-story to me. If we get a month into it where we're, playing Carolina and these joint practices, okay, then we can have a conversation. But right now, I just need these Jet fans to, take a deep breath already, and they already want to jump off the freaking cliff already, and we're not even at training camp. I mean, breathe, fellas.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you're not concerned about a guy coming in here on the last year of his deal, not being in mandatory mini camps, not missing the workout bonus as well that he had, which I think was $250K, also not being in mandatory mini camps, he got fined for that, also possibly not showing up to training camp. If that's your idea and you think everybody should just be okay with that, especially in big expectation year, right? All right, Justin. I mean, I don't understand that.
Sure,
I'll be concerned, but okay.
But I mean,
when you look
to be
at the
honest
situation,
with you, to be honest with you, I think I could spin it into a positive. Guess what? Then you got these young guys like Will McDonald. If Haason Reddick's not getting the reps got to go to someone else. So one of these young guys like Will McDonald, whether it be Kinlaw, I mean, it's fine. The guy's going to be ready when it matters, and it's fine. It's not an issue right now.
If Haason Reddick doesn't get the reps and doesn't figure out how to move within this defense and also doesn't gel with the defensive players in camp and all this, if he misses all of that, how do you think
the guy is a seasoned veteran? What is there not to gel? The guy, put your hand in the dirt and go get the quarterback. The guy's a seasoned veteran. I mean, you're really
not all that it is to that position.
You're worried about that?
That's not all. That's not all it is.
I mean, the guy's a seasoned veteran.
If it was that easy, it's not all it is to his position. There's things he has.
I mean, the guy's top 5 in stats the last 5 years? I mean, you're really worried about that? I'm not at all.
Yes.
For a veteran? No thanks.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the fact that he's coming to a brand new team with the new scheme, with Sulla's scheme, and he's playing with a bunch of players that he's never played with before in a Super Bowl or bust year where the expectations are sky high. And if they aren't met, okay, more than likely these guys are going to get fired. If they don't make the playoffs, everybody's getting fired. Everybody's up out of here. That's a fact.
No
with
excuses,
all that pressure
on,
you're expecting this guy, right? You're okay with him missing mandatory. You're okay with him missing camp. You're okay with, just go into the season and figure it out. That is the last thing you want to do. That is, especially with the moves you have to make to get this guy into the building. Hell, why even do that? Why didn't you just keep Bryce Huff then? Now, Bryce Huff, he already been here. He knows.
Dude, come on, Bryce Huff.
Why do we just keep Bryce Huff then?
Come on, you can't even.
What's the point?
You can't Bryce Huff.
You're trading for a contract issue that you didn't want to solve. Why didn't you just keep Bryce Huff?
So now we're at the point where we traded for a guy that's top 5s in sacks. Now it's now we want to go for a guy it's not even good against the run. I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Oh Lord.
I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean,
I'll tell you what.
Is it going to be a big deal?
Justin,
Is it going to? be a big deal when the guy comes in first game, he gets 3 sacks versus 49ers. Then are we going to talk about, the guy missed mandatory minicamp? No, the guy's going to be fine. He's a seasoned veteran, and he's working. He's working behind the scenes. It's not like this guy's sitting down, not putting in the work. He's putting in the work.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Now, my next question for you, and when you look at this situation, Sean King came out, called Aaron Rodgers the most selfish quarterback of his generation. What are your thoughts about, Sean King and his comments on Aaron Rodgers missing mandatory minicamp and how the media consistently dumps on the New York Jets?
First off, respectfully, if I didn't see it, who the hell is Sean King? I don't even know who the guy is, to be honest with you. Who the hell is he?
Come on, Justin.
I see the stuff these guys are. I don't even know who the hell Sean King is, respectfully. Who is that? I never even heard of the guy. Like, come on. You think I care what that guy says? No. All these guys want is clicks. Aaron Rodgers is not a leader. This, that, and the other. No, Aaron Rodgers, we know for a fact, this guy is going to want to prove people wrong just like he did the last time. And the guy came out and he won the MVP. Aaron Rodgers is going to thrive this year. And I don't think people are really ready for it. And I'm going to say it right now because I want to go on air as one of the first persons to say this. If the Jets win the AFC East, Aaron Rodgers is going to be in the MVP discussion. Yes, I said it, MVP of the league. Mm-hmm. Not just the Jets, the whole entire league.
Okay. Now, when you talk about Aaron Rodgers, that's when you're talking that talk right now, okay? You talk about A-Rod. You look at this situation, Justin, what are your expectations for him next year? I know you said MVP, but what do you think the numbers would look like? Is it a number thing for you to give a warm, fuzzy feeling of him coming back on that?
To be honest with you,
what are your expectations?
To be honest with you, I like, if we're talking the numbers, the receivers, the expectations, but for me, I mean, I don't care. I just want to win. The first goal is to win the AFC East. I don't care how it happens. I don't care what the number is. I don't care if it's 3-2 every game. The first goal is to win the AFC East. But numbers-wise, I don't see why it can't be anything like the 2015 Ryan Fitzpatrick. I see these people saying, he's gonna have 26 and whatever. Well, guess what? We have 17 games. So I'm expecting this guy to have at least 30-something touchdowns. And we know he's TD to his interception to TD ratio is always stellar. So, I mean, I don't see why he can't have at least what Ryan Fitzpatrick did in 2015, at least 30. Well, I don't remember the exact 30 and 15, something like that. I mean, at least. So, I mean, we'll see what he does. But, I mean, to be honest, I don't care what the number is. If we're winning games, that's all that matters to me. I don't care. Miss me, and I can't stand this. We're going to have a slow start on the offensive line. No. Miss me with those excuses. Well, guess what? They know Salah's defense. No. First game, no excuses, period. I don't care if he knows Robert Salah's scheme. I don't care if it's the X team. No excuses, period. No one's getting a pass. The offense is going to be a slow start because Robert Saleh, they're in prime time. The offensive line needs to gel. We need to get that out of our system now. The offensive line needs to gel together. No, get it together in preseason, get it together in the joint practices, and let's roll. Come out firing week 1. I don't want to hear this slow start nonsense. Nope, not like you said, not in an all-in year, not in a year where Stephon Diggs has left the division. No, we're coming out blazing. We're going to upset the 49ers. The 49ers are not what people really say they are. They have questions in their secondary. These people saying,
you better watch it, Justin.
I see 95% of Jet fans right now saying we have no chance versus the 49ers. The 49ers are overrated. You saw what they did, the Lions did to them. They pounced on them in the first half of the game. And you're telling me the Jets can't run it down the throat? I'm sorry.
Justin,
come out firing.
You better watch it.
Play the possession game, and let's go.
Go ahead.
No excuses for this team this year. I don't care.
That's right.
And I want to go on record too. Breakout player this year on defense. I've seen a difference in minicamp. I know it's just minicamp, but I think it's got to be Jamie Sherwood. I think he's going to be a difference maker this year. Because it's
listen, Jeff,
crap or get off the pot.
Phenomenal
the guy
call
has to.
Great call
the
for
guy
you,
has
and I want to thank you for calling in. Justin with a call. And that's 49er bashing. Listen, man, I live on the West Coast. I watch the Niners. They are not overrated. Those boys will destroy you. I want to show them respect, okay? I'm a Jets fan through and through. Do I think we could beat them? Yeah, I definitely do. But they are not overrated. Play around with Brock Purdy if you want to. Go ahead. I'm telling y'all, like, play around with Brock Purdy if you want to. Is he Peyton Manning? Is he Tom Brady? Is he Drew Brees? Is he Dan Marino? Is he, Patrick Mahomes? No. But that boy get it done. That boy get it done, okay? He'll find you, and he'll pick you apart if you're not ready, all right? McCaffrey, that defense, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. 984. I'm coming to you in a second. That's that North Carolina. 1 second. Dano in the chat salutes. He says, dude, it will be a great dream to add Michael Thomas to this squad. A way better ad than OBJ or Dalvin Cook. That Dalvin Cook signing. Ugh. Goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. Bake says, awesome back and forth. Salutes. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in if you want to give something to Cash App or to the Super Chat. It's there. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give is greatly appreciated, okay? And also keep in mind, when you call into the show, there's no cursing on my show, okay? This is a family show. No cursing on my show. I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than we got Jamal Adams out of here. That was fast, man. It wasn't fast enough, in my personal opinion. Man, I remember getting bashed to the moon about talking about how Jamal Adams needed to go. I told y'all, that boy was a fraud. It was a fraud. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next, we're going to go to a caller that brings hot takes consistent. That's that boy, North Carolina. Salutes, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You're always bringing great takes to the table for us. Give me your thoughts, man. We're sitting down. We're talking about Haason Reddick. I'm a little concerned about the situation. No new deal, no voluntary stuff, no mandatory mini camps. I'm wondering if he's going to hold out in the training camp. What are your thoughts about him and his situation? And are you as concerned about the situation as me?
I don't think it's going to be a long-term issue. And as far as the collective bargain agreement, doesn't he have to report a certain time? And if he does not, he'll face big fines for every day he misses camp. Is that correct? Yeah, so if that is the case, he's going to have to report because he's not going to want to keep losing money like that. That's a lot of money.
Well, he already, I think he skipped out on the $250,000 workout bonus. He skipped out on that. Didn't show up to that. If he doesn't show up to training camp, I believe it's $50K a day that he gets fined, and it's non-waiver.
Okay.
And here's my thing, and I want to hear from you about this. This man knows his worth. This is why the Eagles move on from him. He knows the numbers that he put up. He's had double-digit sacks, I think, the last 4 years in a row. We all know that all the stuff that he's done. He knows how pass rushers are getting paid. But he also knows the leverage that I think he has within this Jets building, too, because realistically, outside of Jermaine Johnson, there's no proven pass rusher if he doesn't show up. I love Will McDonald, but he's not a proven pass rusher. Bryce Huff is gone. John Franklin Myers.
Yeah, Bryce Huff gone.
John Franklin Myers was all over the place. But still, John Franklin Myers is gone. There is nobody that is proven to be able to rush the passer outside of him and Jermaine Johnson. So he knows the leverage that he has within the building. And I want to get your thoughts on that, man. That's why I think that this could play out a bit, because he also knows that there's big pressure this upcoming season. The Super Bowl or bust. Yeah. You better make the playoffs or everybody gets fired. Like, I feel like he knows what's going on here, and that's why he's playing the cards that he has. Give me your thoughts.
I would think Joe Douglas would have had some kind of a plan, maybe a short-term deal.
Yeah.
Because, he's got the big four he's got to try to get under contract. That's Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner. But I would think he probably had a plan and didn't just go on this make this deal on the seat of his pants. because that would be uncharacteristic of Joe Douglas, from what we've known of him. And I think I've got to believe he's got a plan, but we'll see what happens in the coming weeks and how this thing unfolds, because it's still a little bit early yet to panic. We got time.
I'm not panicking.
The bigger issues, some of the bigger issues I have with all the negativity from that last caller who was talking about some of the negativity that's coming at us, folks that are in the so-called sports media that are phonies, and they're full of it, and I think they know they're full of it, and because they know that their behinds are grass, and they know we don't need them anymore because we have social media now. We got platforms like YouTube and others. It's not like when I was growing up as a kid in the 80s, when I got interested in sports, all I had was WFAN. Now, obviously, I fell in love with the Yankees, and I fell in love with the New York Jets. I had my newspaper, I think it was called Jet Journal, or I think it was Jet Journal, I think, at the time. And then they canceled that. I got a bad news letter. After a few years, they canceled, and then they went to Jets Confidential. Now, I think that's the paper that's out there now digitally, and I think they have the paper. So that's all I had, and I had to wait for that every 2 months to 3 months to get a paper, and I was so excited, try to read up on the Jets and see what some of the journalists out of the newspaper are saying. So it's changed the landscape. It's good for us that we have social media now. We don't need them. We don't need ESPN. We don't need the Fox Sports. We don't need the various networks. You know what I'm saying? Now, WFAN, I kind of cut them. I don't like some of the things that comes out of that, all the yelling and all that nonsense. I kind of cut them a little slack to a certain extent because it is a New York-based network. They are trying to focus on the locals and New York sports, so I kind of, give them a little more leeway than I would Fox Sports or ESPN. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, listen, look, first off, I want to thank everybody that tunes in to your boy, all right, that appreciates the content that I put out. I understand your sentiments have definitely been, put out there as well by other Jets fans. I'm always stunned by the way that the mainstream media tends to spin things to make it negative about the Jets or finds a way to drum things up, like you were saying as well, to bash the Jets consistently. There's just so many things over my time as a Jets fan where it was like, wow. I'll never forget the years that Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember when everyone in the media was screaming that the Jets needed to re-sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, get it done. If you guys don't get it done, you're an idiot. And the Jets ended up giving him
I remember
$16 million. Yep. I'll never forget. It was Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi and a couple other those guys were sitting on ESPN screaming, give him $16 million. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Go elsewhere. And they gave him that money. He came the next year, and he just crapped the bed. And then they bashed the New York Jets for giving him that money. The same people.
Giving him the money.
and I was blown away by that. So I just feel like the Jets are never going to get a fair shake, and especially with Sean King and his partner as well bashing the Jets is crazy. Even PFT ranking the New York Jets 25th in their power ranking.
That's a joke.
The league is just insane. It's insane.
We know all the teams they have ranked within the 24 teams that ranked ahead of the Jets. The Jets can beat every last one of those teams. The only team there's a big question, can they beat them, is the San Francisco 49ers. That's the only one. We've shown we can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. Should have beaten them if it wasn't for a bad call. Finally beat the Philadelphia Eagles, beat the Buffalo Bills. Couldn't quite compete with Miami, because the offense was so, I can't even say anemic. It was just non-existent to the point where the spirit of the defense was broken, and the Dolphins knew that. So every little thing they do offensively was magnified. So they knew they had the game. They didn't feel threatened by us at all, with Zach Wilson and quarterback. So every team on this schedule, the Jets are strong enough, and I've been waiting for this for years, since 2009 and 2010, for the Jets to put together a team that's literally strong enough to go against every team on this schedule and put them down. Now we have that team. Even the 49ers had better not read the press and better not take the New York Jets lightly. This team is strong enough. The way they're put together, the way they're built, the physicality of their running game, the physicality of their receiving core, a really solid offensive line, a veteran quarterback, a mastermind, a defensive coordinator, a really, really good special teams coach.
excellent place kicking, punting, special teams unit, which is one of the best in the league. They had better not underestimate the Jets. They better bring their A game, or they're going to lose Monday night. I can feel this, man. They're going to lose. The Jets are going to shock people. They're going to jump on the 49ers like they stole something. And we're not going to be able to tell that they're on the road. They're going to really be aggressive. They're going to take it to them. They're going to send a message. All this nonsense with the media, Colin Cowherd and all of them, is only digging a grave for the other team. It's going to make their job that much harder when they go against the New York Jets. I'm telling you that. They're going to make their job really hard.
Yeah, and you know the big thing, and you talked about it as well, was that, hey, Zach Wilson's not going to be the starting quarterback anymore. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's right.
Healthy. And I'm looking at it like this, man. I think that Aaron Rodgers, to me, he doesn't have to be, 25, 24-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to come out and sling the ball around and throw for 330 a game. He can come out and be a game manager, right? And I want to get your thoughts on this because he's coming back from that Achilles injury.
Sure.
What exactly is going to be your gauge of Aaron Rodgers and, his success here? Like, do you want to see – does he have to throw over 25 TDs next season for you to be – for you to say, okay, he came back and he did what he needs to do and he's healthy, and for you to get a warm, fuzzy feeling about him returning? Or what is going to be kind of your measuring stick for Aaron Rodgers and, his success next season? Is it numbers? Is it just, the way he goes out there and plays? Is it just moving the chains? What is it going to be for you?
I think it'll be just how he looks on the field. I like to go by the eye test. The statistics, the stats are nice, but it's good to see the quarterback look comfortable, get in a rhythm, slinging the ball around out there, communicating to the players, to his teammates. You know what I'm saying? Establishing his strength of leadership, his presence in the huddle, and how the team responds to him. That's the thing I'm most excited about, is how this team will respond to having their franchise quarterback on the field. People don't realize how dangerous this team is going to be with having Aaron Rodgers, his presence, his calming presence on the field. Even let's say we go out there against San Francisco. We have a couple of 3-and-outs. I'm not going to panic over that because I already know eventually he's going to get his rhythm, and once he starts completing some passes, they get some first downs, they start moving the sticks, and they get in the end zone, it's a wrap. Once he gets get in a rhythm and start getting comfortable, as the level of quarterback and the way his mentality is, it's done. Once he gets in a rhythm, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Once Aaron gets in a rhythm and start getting comfortable, based on the level of play, Aaron Rodgers is it's so intuitive on the field. He's just another level of quarterback than we ever had. Even going back when we had Joe Namath, we know how legendary he was. Big arm, quick release. But we haven't had anything quite like Aaron Rodgers. That's as cerebral as he is and on the level that he's on. We are going to be very dangerous.
Yeah,
very dangerous. And I think people are badly underestimating this team, what they're capable of. I think about Miami, one of our biggest rivals. This is the team I think we'll have to contend with for the divisional title. Miami struggled on the road. I watched that Kansas City game. I got to watch it. I sat down and looked at that game and pulled it up on my digital TV and just sat back, just enjoyed the game and watched this game. They struggled. They actually shown weakness in that cold. They couldn't handle it. And we've seen this before with warm weather teams. When it comes down to late December, early January, once that temperature starts dropping around the country, they can't handle it. That gives me a ray of hope. We're built to handle that. Oh, I get on my knees and pray. I wish to God you took this team and put them back in time, and instead of Miami, put us out there with Braylon Allen, the monster Braylon Allen, Breece Hall, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers be laughing at that, talking about some cold, and he came out of Green Bay. Who's in it rougher than they are? That's one of the coldest places in the country, ain't it? Green Bay.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And you think that weather's going to phase us? If we get in the playoffs, a whole lot of teams had better be looking out, because this team is going to be dangerous on the level that Rex Ryan's 2009 and 10 Jet teams were. But the only difference is we have Aaron Rodgers. Now, I like Mark Sanchez, and I like what he did in the playoffs, and I respect Mark. But Aaron Rodgers is on a different level, man.
He's a
People
different
don't
monster.
realize that.
Yeah, he's
some
a
of the
different
throws
monster.
that Sanchez could not make, Aaron can still make. Those tight
not even just
putting that ball over the top on time, on rhythm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And not even just the throws, it's the physical, the mental. I think he's just on a completely another level. And I'm not just talking about just with Mark Sanchez. I'm talking about all time. He has one of the highest football IQs ever in the league. One of them. He's the guy that he can manipulate a defense with his mind. So, in fact, just looking at the clips that we saw from camp, like this guy from OTAs, he was going out there literally looking off the defense and throwing no-look passes because he knows that's going to be open, because he knows where everybody is on the field. He's looking left and literally throwing right, and I'm talking dimes. It's like, bro, he's back and he's ready to go. And like you said, it's going to be insane. And that's what I want to ask you this, man. When you look at the Jets, of course, we saw last season the Jets struggled to finish in the red zone. They struggled to score, which I believe will be improved this upcoming year, of course, with Aaron Rodgers back under the helm. Who do you think, when you look at this Jets current roster as it stands now, who do you think is the Jets' best red zone weapon?
Oh, that's a good question. we got so many now. We got Williams, we got Garrett Wilson, we got Conklin, we got Breece Hall, we got Braylon Allen. We have so many weapons. It's tough to say.
Who do you
now
think?
I'm kind of picturing them running some of the the fade routes to Williams, and maybe Conklin running some things to Conklin, because that's a tough matchup. Conklin's a very, very good tight end,
Yep.
And it's going to be exciting, truly exciting to watch. But what I'm hoping for is that Braylon Allen is everything that is advertised. I really like his physical presence, his sheer size. I was thinking about this a couple of years ago. It came across my mind. What if the Jets had a big bruising back? And I thought about the Giants when they had my man, what's his name? God, he was big. He was bigger than Braylon Allen. He was.
Are you talking about Brandon Jacobs?
6'6". Brandon Jacobs. If we had a back
Brandon Jacobs
like
from Giants.
That's right. And when we drafted Braylon Allen, I've been running draft simulations for months prior to the draft. And in the middle rounds, I was selecting Braylon Allen. So they were in line with me. This kid is a monster. He's a stud. The scheme is perfect for him. Physical, downhill. He don't have to think. He don't have to read and react. Just let his natural instincts and his natural physicality take over and just get that head of steam and just barrel into the defense. He's going to be a monster. I'm looking for him to make an impact. It could be Braylon Allen.
No, yeah. So you're a guy, you thinking he's going to grab that number 2 running back spot. Am I correct? Because it sounds like
absolutely.
You think Anabanakanda is up out of there. Are you one of the fans that think that Allen is just going to grab that guy?
Anabanakanda is an Alabama goner. As far as Anabanakanda is an Alabama goner.
Damn. All right. Well, I mean, you've made it very clear. You think Izzy just doesn't have a chance to keep that number 2 spot. There's a lot of Jets fans that I've spoken to that have mirrored your sentiments, that think that that spot is going to be gone and that it's going to be.
You know what it is?
It's going to be given to the young running back.
You know what it is with Izzy that's troubling for me? We haven't heard any word about him contributing anything to the special teams. Our history and tradition is littered with guys who could do different things and contribute on special. When I was coming up, there was Bobby Humphrey, who was a kick returner, top-notch kick returner / corner. We had Chad Morton, who without dumb ownership, we lost him to the Redskins. He was a running back / kick returner, top kick returner. Then you had Brad Smith, who was wildcat, kick returner. You had Leon Washington, who was kick or punt. I think he did some punt work, punt return / running back. When I was coming up, Kurt Sohn, you had various ones that could do, they had that versatility that they can play different positions and contribute on a high level to the special team. Why isn't this kid, with all his explosive traits, contributing to the special team? Is it a lack of instincts? What is it this kid?
I know that they were talking about him returning kicks and I think punts at one point. I think that he'll get a chance to do that, especially in camp upcoming. I think that that's going to be something that's also going to give him a push too. I think that he'll have a role on special teams. And listen, I hear everybody talking about these young backs, and I get it. Like, man, Braylon Allen is phenomenal. Isaiah Davis is also a guy I think is going to push, to possibly take that fullback spot from Baldwin if he don't watch himself. But I don't think it's going to be that easy. I don't think it's going to be that easy to push Izzy out of his spot. Izzy's got some ability, man. He's a guy that can move now. He's got some speed to him, and he also can come out that backfield and catch that football. So we're going to see.
And see, the thing about Izzy, he's got the most explosive traits next to Breece Hall. That's why I want to see him step his game up and start contributing, because he's got the second most explosive traits next to Breece Hall. That has value. Yep. You know what I'm saying? If Breece Hall gets tired, I know they're going to, mix in the thunder and lightning, with Braylon and Isaiah Davis, but still be able to hit him with that lightning, hit him with that speed back to the explosive trait, that they get to that second, and once they get to the third level, they're gone. They're walking to the end zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, this has been a phenomenal call from you. Go. Izzy does. I'm telling you, he'll go off. Now, before I let you go,
sure.
Give me a player that you feel is underrated on the Jets offense right now, but is due to have a big impact this upcoming season.
It could be Tyler Conklin, and I'm also thinking it could be Xavier Gibson. Now, we know about his contributions to our special teams and kick returns. Reports have been very good on him. I think he might be a dark horse in this offense. Somebody who they'll run some plays with him. They'll put him in there for a few plays and throw him some passes. He's quick. He has some explosiveness to him, some giddy up to his step. And he could be a key contributor, like a dark horse. And it could be tight end Jeremy Ruckert. No one's really talking about Jeremy Ruckert. We know how physical and powerful he is as a blocker. He's a monster.
Yep.
He drives people out of plays. He puts them on the ground. I remember when he played for Ohio State, the reason their quarterback, who's, kind of struggling now, was so successful, Jeremy Ruckert was one of the key weapons. If you go back and look at those old games, Ohio State, look up YouTube Jeremy Ruckert, Ohio State. There's plenty of tape on him. He's a really good tight end who has not been maximized like a lot of other weapons haven't been maximized because of the quarterback play. Jeremy Ruckert is another dark horse that could have a breakout campaign this year as the number 2 tight end.
Facts. He's one of the guys that I've spoken about as well that I think has a big chance to have a great season. With Aaron Rodgers spinning the football, coming out in those 2 tight end sets, man, it's going to get nasty. Conklin's phenomenal too, but I'm telling you, his ability, we all know that he can block because he did a lot of that last season. But I'm telling you, when given opportunities, we saw him make plays in the passing game as well. He was able to do some things, like you said, because of the quarterback situation, because of the offensive schemes, the things we had to run. He wasn't utilized to his maximum potential, as I think that he'll be able to get this upcoming season. He'll definitely have opportunities.
That's true.
So,
That's right.
Listen.
So before I go, I'd like to leave you with something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. I think the Jets offense, the key players are going to see some major bumping numbers all the way across the board. Breece Hall, I'm looking to see him do about 1,800 to 2,000 yards. Garrett Wilson, I'm looking to see at least 400 yards at a minimum to 500 yards. Tyler Conklin, I'm looking to see at least a 200-yard bump in his numbers. So I'm looking to see some, improvement in numbers all the way across the board for some of our key offensive weapons. And I just want to leave you with that.
No, listen, that's phenomenal. That's a phenomenal take on the go. I don't know if I want to see Breece touch that 2,000 rushing mark. I don't want them to run him too much. Okay, because you know what
I'm thinking Bell. I'm old school. I'm thinking Bell.
Listen.
I'm thinking he's going to do about 1,600 rushing in itself, and then probably 400 or 500 pass receiving. That's probably what will put him over the milestone, and he'll be in the MVP voting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Breece is going to be phenomenal next year, especially with the improvement along the offensive line. But listen, Garrett Wilson is a guy I fully expect to have a much better season than we saw last season, which he was great last season. But I remember watching games where he was just running down the field wide open, and the ball just couldn't get to him.
Right.
I mean, waving his hand and everything.
Just couldn't get it to him.
Just couldn't get it to him.
And see, this time you have a quarterback that's not throwing the ball way out ahead of him and throwing it behind him. You got to reach over to the defender and knock it away and knock it on his side and catch it and all this nonsense, all this crazy stuff. This time we're going to have somebody going to hit him in stride. And by putting the ball in stride, he's gone. Once he gets you on the backside and he put the ball out there, he's gone. You know, Garrett's going to take it to the house.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Listen, I got to let you go. I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. You always give us great takes about this Jets football team.
I appreciate you too, buddy. You take care.
Absolutely, man. Man, what a night. What a call. We have some phenomenal callers. Let me go to the Savages in the chat. Oh, also, just to update on some Jets news as well. Tay Hayes was arrested. Tay Hayes was a Jets corner. He was arrested on a misdemeanor, marijuana charge early Sunday morning in Alabama, and he was released by the New York Jets as well. So the Jets have put that out there. I wanted to make sure I got that piece of news because we were just going so crazy. Everything's moving and shaking so fast. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. I see y'all in the building. All right. Gangrene David, salutes and respect to you. He says, I'll answer this question. The media will stop hating on the Jets once they finally prove their hype on the field. Yeah. The Jets got to win. Winning will shut people up. That's for sure. Even though we've seen in the past that even when the Jets were winning, they still try to take shots. You can't hate, when we get in those W's and we win in big games. So, Dano also says, can we please hold these media haters accountable? I'm tired of people just forgiving and forgetting terrible takes. Ooh. Yeah. I'm telling you, Teddy Bruschi, I'll never forget Teddy Bruschi sitting on that ESPN set and literally telling the Jets if they do not sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, it would be one of the dumbest things they've ever done in the franchise history. And then they gave him the money, and he was one of the guys sitting on the set bashing the New York Jets when Ryan Fitzpatrick went belly up and completely ruined the season. I was another guy that got bashed for wanting to get Ryan Fitzpatrick out of there too. Before we gave him that money, I was screaming, "Don't pay him! Don't pay him!" It was just another magical season by him, but magic's not real. Okay, sorry kids, but that's all sleight of hand. It's not real. All right. And boy, oh boy, did the Jets pay for that one. Okay. Dakota J salutes. Good to see you in the building as well. Dakota J says, Nick Wright hates the Jets for no reason. Oh, man. I guess we're figuring out Nick Wright's a Patriots fan, I guess we're hearing as well. So that could explain some things. Okay. But, salute and respect to Nick Wright. Everybody, that reports on the Jets and news as well. I respect everybody's opinion, but man, there's been some harsh takes about the Jets. So we're going to go ahead and close up the show. It's been phenomenal speaking with everybody. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. Your boy has had a great time talking about this New York Jets football team. So we're going to close it out. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. All right? I truly appreciate it. I'm also on Twitter as well, for those of you that may not know. Okay? At The Long Beach Joe. At The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right? Follow your boy. I'll follow you right back. Okay, you want to troll me, no issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times. Okay? At all times. I'll have my Vera Tucker jersey on. All right? He's going to be back this season, dominating, folding people, okay? And, pushing people around like he always does. I'm expecting a Pro Bowl, all-pro season. All right? I mean, he plays every position along the offensive line except for center, but let's be serious. He could probably play that too, But that's what we do at USC, okay? Fight on. That's what we do. We produce players like AVT on the daily. On the daily. Fight on. Okay? So we'll be under that bridge. Also, my personal Twitter, YoungJ000. All right? YoungJ000. Okay? I'm also on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. All right? When you hit that notification bell, press all so you get all of the content. Also, if you want to troll me, get in the comments. All right? And troll me in those comments. Let me know what you folks think. Let's go back and forth as well. I'll troll you right back. And as always, people, when you see me in person, okay, because you do see me in person, listen, I don't hide. Your boy be outside, okay? Your boy be outside. When you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. I want to thank you folks for calling in, listening to the show. The hugs will always be free. They will cost you absolutely nothing. All right? Thank you for taking the time out of your day to interact with your boy any way that you do, okay? Calling in, savages in the chat going back and forth, giving me your thought, anything that you do, listening to the podcast, I appreciate you, okay? Again, also the overseas folks, it's crazy. I want to thank y'all as well, all right? Overseas people listening to your boy, I appreciate it, all right? So I'm going to get out of here, folks, until the next show, okay? Until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace.